It's time for Real Talk with Jackie. She'll talk politics, education, entertainment, and a whole lot more. It's time for Real Talk with Jackie Hollywood Mims.
And welcome to Real Talk. Today's topic is a breath of fresh air. That's how I'm describing my guest today, as many describe her. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to my guest today. She's a songwriter, she's a vocalist, she's an executive producer, she's an art administrator, and she's an educator. And that is none other than my great college friend, Temika Moore. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's so good to have you here. So before we delve into the show, and this show is exciting, I just want you to tell everyone, who is Temika Moore?
Well, I like to say I'm a jazz chick, I'm an R&B chick, I'm an inspirational soul chick. I grew up listening to so much music, so I consider myself an amalgamation of everything I have ever heard. But what I'd have to say my sweet spot is, I would have to say it is inspirational soul, and it's a blend. It's music that's built on lyrical and instrumental freedom, undergirded by spiritual truth. So that means you can use any kind of style and instrumentation that you please. So I'd have to say that's what I am. I'm an artist that believes that the music is more than just the genre. So I feel like it's the lyric, it's the spirit in the song, and I don't feel like you can pigeonhole that. And so when people ask me, well, tell us about who you are, what kind of artist you are, all that stuff, who do you compare to? Yeah, you get those questions, but just at heart, if I have to put it in a box and, wrap it up with a bow, inspirational soul artist, that's who Temika Moore is.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So when did you start your career in the music industry?
Well, I started very young, at 9, but professionally, I started my career at the High School for Creative and Performing Arts in Philadelphia with my colleagues, Questlove, Amir from the Roots, Tariq Thought, Black Thought, they call them, and Boys to Men, Amel LaRue. So I was at Performing Arts High School during that time. So that's where I started. And I say that because Performing Arts High School in Philadelphia was training us to go into the business. And I say that from the standpoint of the level of excellence that the school expected. So that's where I started. But I started after that in the Washington, D.C. metro area in the late 90s.
So tell us a little bit about your recent CD project.
Oh, sure.
The Closet.
Yes.
Ultimate Conversation.
Yes. One of the singles off of that album actually is called Every Word. And I actually wrote that album and decided to also release a single, Every Word, but I also went and did a Soulful House remix of that song as well. So this album for me was pivotal because I wanted to do a project that had all live instrumentation. So I had done the type of songs where you have more electronic, what they call MIDI instrumentation, where there's electronic representations of real instruments. So with this one, I wanted live strings. I wanted everybody in the studio playing at the same time. I wanted that synergy, and it was important for me to do that with this album. So this album for me was very authentic, very honest. Not saying that any other album wasn't, but I think I was much more intentional with this album than any other one. And I was also in a different headspace with this album. So the title, The Closet, Intimate Conversations, what I would notice when I started writing the album, number one, the first song of the album came on January 12th. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'm about to go to a studio session. I don't know what I'm going to record. And then I'm sitting there and I write the whole song in 30 minutes. And I said, oh, this is interesting. And then shortly thereafter, I started, every time I would go into the closet to get dressed, I would start hearing melodies and lyrics. I said, what is this about? And it would happen literally every time I went in the closet. And I said, this is odd, you know, because I was aware, I was conscious of it. And then during that time, I believe it was The War Room. The movie The War Room was out.
Yes.
I had no clue what a war room was.
Okay.
So it was almost like kind of serendipitous, kind of. So I'm in this closet creating these songs that are like really speaking to me. This movie is out called The War Room, where the main character is going into a closet to pray. I'm like, what is this about? So I named it that because that's what I heard. And so much insight was coming from these songs while I was in the closet, and the closet became a prayer room. So I didn't want to call it a war room. I called it, a prayer room. Prayer means to ask earnestly. So it became a room that I was asking the questions. What is this about? What does this mean? What does that lyric mean? So that's why I called it the closet. Intimate conversations, because it was very, very intimate.
Very intimate. I love it. I love it. I do. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back after these messages.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Real Talk. Today's topic is a breath of fresh air. And yes, indeed, I'm in the company of a breath of fresh air, Temika Moore. And may I add, my sorority sister.
All right.
Thank you for coming on today. Big shout out to Zetaphibeta Sorority Incorporated. I love it. I love it.
That was a subdued C5.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm so happy to have you here today. So we're going to move right along because I'm super excited because we're going to hear from this lovely lady later in the show. But I do have another question for you. So you've collaborated with notable musicians and producers, including Terrell Wallace, and they call him the tall black guy.
Yeah.
Okay. And soulful house artist Josh Milan. Okay, so tell me about those collaborations.
Oh, yes. So Terrell Wallace, AKA Tall Black Guy,
Okay.
he's actually been on tour and doing music with Foreign Exchange and DeBoer Bond. So I actually discovered Terrell because he had entered a contest and he had done a remix for Eric Roberson.
Oh.
And then I was working on a song and we started working on that. So I'd already done a song and he remixed one of my songs called Let It Go. And it's been a very popular song. It's more kind of like that R&B neo soul vibe. And Josh Milan, actually a colleague of mine, his name is T. Alford, a DJ in the soulful house community. He introduced me to the soulful house community because I wasn't familiar with it. Outside of house music, such as a more popular style like CeCe Peniston, Crystal Waters, Robin S., those types of artists. I didn't really know much about soulful house music.
Okay.
So he introduced me to the genre, and he introduced me to Josh Milan, and Josh Milan ended up doing the remix for Every Word, which was one of the singles off of the Closet Intimate Conversations album. So it's been wonderful. South Africa loves that song. I'll go places and they're like, that's my song, that's my song, that's my song. So I was just up in New York for a fundraiser for a colleague of mine, the legendary Chris Washington. He's raising funds for Howard University alum. For students, and I performed the song, and I was on the floor with the audience. They're like, "That's my song," So the song is very, very, very popular in that community, and I'm thankful for that. I had no idea how loyal the soulful house community is. So,
Wow, very
good.
Okay, so that was exciting for you.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking forward to going to South Africa. I'm going to get invited by somebody to come over there. I have to.
You have to go.
Yes. Yes.
Just remember me when you're going.
Okay.
We'll go together. So I have to share this. From reviewing your bio and your website, I see you have a solid catalog and an impressive music resume, having performed with and opened for so many notable artists such as Roy Ayers, Eric Benet, Shantae Moore, Will Downing, and the list goes on. Tell us about your experiences in the music business that have taught you the most as a performer and a songwriter.
Sure. I'd have to say two things.
Okay.
The first thing I learned was from one of my guitar colleagues. His name is Stanley Cooper. Stanley plays with everybody. And I remember him saying to me one night, he said, Temika, you were smiling on a song that you shouldn't have been smiling on. Did you hear the lyric?
Oh.
And I never forgot that.
Wow.
So
wow.
Thanks, Stan. Because that meant that I wasn't present. That means I wasn't present. Wow. I wasn't connecting.
That's huge.
With the lyric. So if I wasn't connecting with the lyric, that means I wasn't connecting with the audience. So that was a valuable lesson for me, and it changed a lot for me. And the theme of my life, I guess not long after that, became every word. So I literally dig into words like you would dig for treasure, missing treasure, really. Because words are treasure.
Yes, they are.
That's the first one. The second one would be, I had the opportunity to meet with Kedar Massenburg, and he was a major player in the neo soul movement. So you know, you had Erykah Badu, India Arie, D'Angelo. During that time, early 2000s, neo soul was on fire.
Yes.
And
yes.
I had the opportunity to meet with him and wanted to find out if there was any way I could kind of, you know, learn and possibly be considered to be on, you know, Massenburg Entertainment, because Joe was on that label. He had another artist, Algebra. So he had those two artists on the label. And I had that opportunity to sit in my car, and we're sitting in the car, and he says to me, he says, I'm about to put the CD in, because it was a CD then, so I'm dating myself, right? It was like 2008. And he says, is this going to be a Frisbee? And I said, no, it's not going to be a Frisbee. Assuming like, okay, is this going to be a CD that's worth keeping, or I'm just throw it away, you know, type of thing, right? And I said, no, it's not a Frisbee. So we're sitting in the car, and he says to me, oh, I could see you, you know, you writing with Algebra. Okay. I was like, all right, okay. And he said to me in the conversation, I said, you know, I've been doing this for a while. I've been, you know, sacrificing a lot of things. And I was like, okay, you know, what do I need to do to the songs that, you know, to make them more marketable? Or I'm just trying to glean what it is I need to do to, you know, develop the career. And he says to me, he says, sell your car. Oh. So at the time, I'm driving a German luxury vehicle. And he made an assumption, I guess, I get it, because he got out of a car that was chauffeured, okay? So he's saying to me, sell your car, and I got it later on.
Okay.
Because German cars, number one, are not necessarily the least expensive to maintain over the long haul.
Absolutely not.
So the money that I was spending to maintain that vehicle, that money could have been spent to continue to further develop my talent and my gifts. So that was a major lesson coming from a major record executive like him, sitting in my vehicle, who took the time to give me that feedback. So I'm forever grateful for Kedar doing that. I didn't have to get signed at that moment because I wasn't ready. But he gave me something that was much more profound, much more.
And I see where you're getting a lot of your valuables from.
Oh, absolutely.
And those are the greatest lessons from those, and you're in a position to receive.
Oh, yes.
And that's what's most important.
Yeah.
And I love that for you.
Yeah.
And that's why you are who you are today. And I love your voice and just the charming personality. I see it all, but it does come from those who step in and share, and we're stepping up and believing what's being shared.
Yeah.
Most important.
Oh, yeah.
Most important. So again, as we move along, tell us where you will be performing next.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes.
Well, up next, I will be performing for the Zetaphibeta Sorority Incorporated presentation in partnership with the Cancer Society, American Cancer Society, and Bid for the Cure. So that will be coming up soon on May 7th. Okay. And I will be performing there as well, and there'll be other sorors on that program as well. I believe Celicia Johnson will also be on there, also a soarer.
Okay,
will be on there, and some authors. So looking forward to that. We're hoping to have a really good turnout, as that program is designed to help raise funds for cancer research and also have a good time while you're doing it. So that's coming up on May 5th.
On May, I was going to say, drop the date.
Yeah,
on
May 5th. May 5th.
Okay, okay, perfect. So do you have any plans to release any new music in the future?
Yes.
Yes.
I do.
I love
that.
It's
time.
It's time.
My last album that I recorded was 2016, and I did something that you don't do. I did the album, released it, did the preliminary promotions, and then I walked away.
Wow.
I was exhausted, and I said, I can't do this anymore. I felt like now I just want to go live my life.
Okay.
And I'd say enjoy it, because I wasn't enjoying it. I was just like on this grind.
Okay.
So you can't enjoy it. You can't be present, when you're on that mentality. So I took a hiatus from it. So that was 2016. So it is time for some new music.
So Temika
for sure.
Moore is back.
Yeah.
Newsflash, she's back.
Yes.
So we're going to take a commercial, and we'll be back after these messages.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Welcome back to Real Talk. This is the final segment of my show. And this is where I ask all of my guests, what is your why? And tell me how your why is allowing you to map your way to your success and your goals.
Sure. Wow. Well, first of all, my why is that I create music that leads to personal change. So there's all kinds of music out there in the world, but I am first the patient from the experience of my songwriting career. So every word, when I got that song in such a way, it changed and shifted everything. It changed my why. Actually, it defined it, because I did not have a clear why before. And that's probably why I walked away, because it really, really wasn't clear. So I was like, okay, there's got to be more to this than, be famous. That wasn't doing it for me.
Okay.
It just wasn't. I said, there's got to be, because this is too difficult.
Yeah.
Let me not use that word. It was a challenge to continue to do what needed to be done for that to be that's the end all be all. So the moment that I got clarity that every word came straight from Deuteronomy 8:3 and Matthew 4:4, and I didn't know it at the time because I hadn't read the Bible through. Every word led me to read the King James from front to end.
Oh, amen.
In a year. So it shaped my why, it defined it, it gave me clarity on what I was really doing with the songs. I know what the songs can do. The songs are therapists. They're the first healer, okay? There's something about a song when the song has been developed from a sincere, deep purpose, and it's speaking to that intended person that it's going to. So I was first the patient. So it got me first before it reached other people. And when I did that remix and it made its way over to South Africa, and I get the responses from the people, they're like, that's my song. And they're singing the lyrics, they're on video, singing the song. I'm like, okay. Now I know why that song came the way it did. So succinctly, the song Every Word is the why, and it's the compass. Every word is the compass.
Yes.
So, and getting to understand that, and my sorority sisters in my chapter will tell you, okay, she's about to bring the word, okay? Wordsmith, all right? So, because it's just a part of me now. It's like breathing. So that is the why, to be able to use the music to inspire and empower people to make a personal change, and only they know what that personal change is for them.
Yes.
So,
amen. Amen. So while they are making those changes, what will you share with us today?
I have a song.
Yes.
Here, want to tell you about it? Here it goes.
Here it goes. We're ready. We are ready. Yes. Oh, God bless you.
There's a fire in this thing, the kind of light only you can bring. I'm like a particle escaping, and it lights the only form I'm taking. Needing you is so empowering. Your world, my life, I'm finding you light. Fireworks in my heart. Your love for me is the spark. You light fireworks in my heart. Your love for me is the spark. I believe I'm catching feels 'cause of the things you're revealing. I see this message from above that I'm the object of your love. Leading you is so empowering. Your world, my life, I'm finding you light. Fireworks in my heart. Your love for me is the spark. You light fireworks in my heart. Your love for me is the spark. Not used to feeling this. If I didn't tell you, I'd be remiss. You've given insight and wisdom. Problems of my past were just a symptom. Leaving you is so empowering. Yeah, I'm finding you light fireworks in my heart. Your love for me is the spark. You light fireworks in my heart. Your love for me is the spark. Your love is big, your love is bright, your love has changed my life. Your love is big, your love is bright, your love has changed. Your love is so big, so bright. Your love has changed my life. Never be the same. No, never. No, 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 never. No, never. Oh, when that change comes, you can't stay the same.
Oh my. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh my, your voice. And I'm remembering from the days of college and just your voice then and now. Wow. As my sister always says, she's so little for all that voice. You remember that? Jen would always say, she's too little for all of that voice.
But you know it's odd. I remember in school, I used to have trouble singing Anita Baker songs. Anita's an alto, true alto, like rich bottom voice. Her notes were too high, like this, what you call a crossover voice. And I remember seeing that change over the years where singing her, oh, I can do that now.
Oh,
because the voice, the muscle
yes.
Needed to develop. So that song that I just did, it was called Fireworks.
Yes.
And this was one of the songs that I got in the closet. And the song is about the relationship that was developing in my spiritual life from understanding and reading the word. And everybody has a different journey into their spirituality. I'm not going to put a name on it. But the song was intended in speaking to that relationship internally, what's going on. So it was almost like having a conversation with your beloved. You know, do you know what you're doing? Catching feelings here. you know, so the things that you're showing me, you know, okay, oh, now I get it. Now that I've met you, so now I can put into perspective all of the things that happened in the past. Oh, those were symptoms. That wasn't the root. Those were symptoms of the root. So this song was fire, right?
It's beautiful.
For me, and I wanted to do a song that was acoustic based, and it was it.
Well,
Yeah.
it was absolutely outstanding. So, Temika Moore,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining
you.
me
Thank
today. Thank you for taking time out of your super busy schedule to come on Real Talk.
It's going to be
With
busier
your
now that I've been on
solo.
here, right? It's going to be busier. Yeah.
Busy. Thank you so much. So before we go, tell everyone how they can reach you.
Oh, yes. TemikaMoore.com is my website.
Okay.
I'm also on social media. I am no longer on all of the social media platforms.
Okay.
I am on Twitter. My thought process was I don't necessarily want to be accessible in real life that way on 50 million places at one time because I can't be present. So I chose one that was most natural to me. It was Twitter, so that I could be present. So I'm only on Twitter at Temika Moore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, once again, we enjoyed you today. And with that said, thank you so much for watching Real Talk. So just remember, be kind to yourself, be intentional, and give yourself grace. And with that said, God bless you.